Well, Mr. Brandon's with us, and I'm sure we'll get some other crew folks to go on. Hopefully, people come on, and it's going to be on the recording for anybody that couldn't make it tonight because maybe it's a little league something or whatever. It's the fall. Um, so anyway, tonight I just wanted us to discuss builder's warranty, and I know David is. Hopefully, he's going to come back on because he's one of them that's been doing it, some of it too. And Ray and Michael, I don't know if you guys are doing it now or not, builder's warranty. But I just wanted to talk about it. And I think one of the things, my personal opinion about it is as the real estate agents ease back for Sitzer Burnett or other issues, we have to be able to make up some leads from other places. And this is a strategy which I love that doesn't involve them. It's always been one that Beth and I did when we owned Southern Home years, for many years, 13 and a half years. What we did was we ran builders warranty programs every month, and a significant portion of our business came from this. So we just wanted to make sure that people continue to do it. And lots of our clients still do it today, day in and day out, some very successfully. So I wanted to just look at this. I'm always big about begin with the end in mind. So before you start, you need to see where you're going to go. You need to understand that. That's why I use a mind map a lot. And if you haven't used a mind map or you don't know what that is, just go to Google and or your favorite browser and type in mind map and you'll learn all about it. But really what a mind map does is lets you ask yourself the questions that you need to ask before you launch off on the project. So it's not about getting answers. It's about getting the questions out. And so a mind map is one of my favorite tools. I've always used it. I loved it when it became electronic or digital because I used to get these pads of paper with big eraser holes in it where I'd be wanting to change something and change this or change that, and it didn't work that well. So Brandon, are you still using a mind map or no? I know you've learned the skill for us, but I didn't know if you were still using that tool or not.
Yeah, we've used it in the past. I'll use it for like a bigger project. If I've got like a whole new program, like we did a little bit of it with the trusted vendor program.
Uh-huh.
I actually have been using a little bit more. Feel a little more comfortable using kind of a Scrum board on Trello. So
Sure.
I'll use that as kind of a modified version of it, but that's what I've been using.
Yeah, whatever tool works for you, but the real issue is understand the impediments that you're going to face before you launch up on a project. This way you don't get a failure. So with
Yeah.
that said, really, I think what are the key components of a builder's warranty program? I think there's a bunch of key components to it. And Ray and Michael, are either one of you guys doing builder's warranty now, builder's warranty inspections now?
No, sir.
Okay, so Ray's not. Michael, how about yourself? Are you doing them now? Michael had some background noise, so he says he's going to jump back in a minute. Okay, well, Brandon and I'll spend some time talking about it, and I'll tell you, there's a couple of different things.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
So, yes, so that's how I actually started my inspection business. As I was getting my marketing to realtors and to home buyers going was the builder's warranty inspection. And then after I had been running that for several years, then it became an incredible referral source as those homeowners referred their friends as they were buying homes in the neighborhood, or as they eventually sold their home and moved to the next home, then they would they would call me back for another inspection. So that has always been a tremendous referral source for me.
That is awesome, Michael. That is awesome. We used it every month. We used it, builder's warranty program. So I'm glad you're doing it. That's great. You're still doing it? Is still an effective part of your business?
So I have lost touch with a reliable list. And so then the supplier on the list, one of them retired, and then another source, then their tool as far as the list goes. They couldn't isolate just new construction home buyers. It was just new mortgages, like through Experian or something like that.
Sure.
And it was just new mortgages, and it was all new mortgages. And so I was getting resale um, buyers in that list. And so then I don't have a reliable source for a new construction list right now.
Right. That's a very, very good point because that's true countrywide. For whatever reason, they've stopped reporting the data from new construction as opposed to residential resale. So we're going to be talking about that in a minute, but one of them, we call that traffic. In other words, how are you going to get traffic? Now, there are certainly ways to do it on the internet and other ways, but the list was very valuable. So let's talk about it. So Brandon, for you guys, and I know I don't know if David was able to get back on the call or not, but how are you guys, Brandon? First, let me ask, are you doing the program right now full time or no?
Yeah, we are. We've had that same challenge too. I mean,
Hmm.
as you know, you would probably know this, Ken, but we did this in Washington for many years, and we killed it with this.
Hmm.
But what our challenge has been more lately is getting that reliable list that you know give us all the names and addresses for these folks. So we do have access to the MLS. It's a little bit more limited because not every new home goes through the MLS. Um, but yeah, we've had a ton of success with it. Just it has been a little bit more challenging the last, I don't know, probably year and a half or two.
Right. Well, so when we were able to get a list, it was pretty easy. The rest of the issues we could solve, but that was a pretty easy one to do when you had a list. So what
Yeah.
happens is John Hart, one of our clients who is doing the program, and he is crushing it with. I'm gonna let Beth talk a minute about what John is doing and how he's getting a reliable, steady of leads. But let me say this before you do it. Um, Anything that is generates the kind of results that we can generate is going to take a little work. Okay, so there's nothing that's no work. Okay, so you have to ask yourself the question, and Michael already said he crushed it with it, and it was a huge source of referrals for him when he was able to get a steady list. Well, you can still get a steady list, but you have to get it a different way. But it is going to take a little more work than what you got in the past. So, Beth, why don't you talk about John Hart and what I was hoping John would be on the call tonight, but he isn't. So, but he's really mastered getting this list.
Yeah, I notified him. I told him we
Okay.
were talking about it, but so John has been doing this for probably 4 years. And a couple years ago, we did a builder's warranty program where we did everything for them for a fee each month. And we don't do that today per se. I help John on his now, but what he does is he goes up to his county tax office and he gets the list from them. He told me probably a week or so ago that he pays about $130 for his list, and he has a pretty extensive list, but he has to clean it up. So there's a lot of other stuff in there, but it does give him the new buyer's name and addresses. Now this is in Myrtle Beach, and David and I talked about it the other day. But what I do is I take his list from what he cleaned up, and then I upload it to send out cards. I get it all set up for him. He has a page for his builder warranties that he takes from the card that he sends to them. He has a custom URL. They're able to click on, or not click, but type that URL in, go straight to that page, and he probably does anywhere from $2,500 probably to sometimes he'll do $3,000 and $4,000 a month just in builder warranties. And we have a code in his ISN that is connected to the campaign, and he does very well with it. I mean, it fluctuates every month, of course, but I mean, his builder warranties keep him going.
So that's good. So it's the county tax assessor, that right, Beth? That's who he's
Yes,
getting it from.
David, sorry, David, what you and I talked about just the other day, what was it? I something?
Right. Well, I mean, I did some research after we talked,
Mm-hmm.
and Mecklenburg, I just went to Mecklenburg County because that's the largest county in my area. And they do have where you can actually pull the database for certificate of occupancy builds, but it's very complicated on how you actually get the information because it also gives you um, residential additions, any modifications and permits that were approved for that certificate of occupancy. And it also gives you like Taylor Morris just started a new neighborhood at, I don't know, $10 million. So you got to kind of it did allow me to download a spreadsheet with the addresses and all the information. However, there is a lot of cleanup on it. And you can verify that data by going to GIS portal, which pretty much every county has. You just type in GIS, whatever county.
Mm-hmm.
You can say Mecklenburg, Onslow, Cabarrus, or whatever county, and go to their site, and it'll tell you when the house was built, when the date of completion, the square footage, and all that kind of stuff. So the data's out there. It's just a matter of how to get it and how to get it efficiently. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but I think he went directly to, he has a guy at the county courthouse or whatever, and he actually works with that guy. The guy pulls the information for him. So John's not actually going and finding it. He just tells the guy what he wants, and then the guy pulls it, gives it to him in a CSV file, and then John cleans it up from what he knows, and then he
Right.
gives it to me, and I clean it up even more, and then we sort it out by months, and we upload it to his send out cards, and we get it ready to go out.
So it
Yeah.
seems to me like we should be able to segregate the data by column the field is in.
Mhm.
Okay, so somehow that someone on, that's very smart with this can go in and take a spreadsheet, do a raw data dump, and then manipulate that data just to get
Sort
what
of.
David needs and the others need.
Yeah.
So David, were you able to get it? I mean, like it's public information. You were able to just go right to the website and pull that data?
Yeah, it's all public information.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's public information for sure.
Yeah.
Some of them charge for the list. Now, David, did you have to physically go anywhere, or were you just able to go on Mecklenburg County's website, get the information and download it?
I went directly to their website and found it. And really, all I did was just type in certificate of occupancy Mecklenburg County building permits, and it pulled me right to their website. I got lucky on that. I'll be honest with you. But my problem is I can't physically go into Mecklenburg County because I'm 4.5 hours away. I no longer pretty much inspect it anymore. So I'm just trying to drive business to the inspectors.
Yeah. No question about that. Okay. All right. Well, now the GIS, tell me what that is. I mean, I'm unfamiliar with that acronym.
It's a software that the county tax assessor uses.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's mostly for tax records and property records, and you can go in there and pull deeds and all that kind of stuff. That's just where that county stores their information that's public.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem with that, just the really quick, the problem with that is in that case, you're really only pulling one property at a time,
Right.
unless you've got a different way there, David.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
You're just using that as a verification source at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where we had the hang up is, we were pulling some stuff from the MLS, and we had some other data that we had gotten elsewhere, and we were trying to compare to see how accurate our lists were. And so we'd go into the GIS, and it was about 50% accurate, and at that point it's kind of tough to really justify trusting that list.
Correct. And that's the whole reason why I went to GIS to try to verify the information that I pulled so that I knew that I was actually pulling the information correctly, because there were like 1,500 records for the year because I pulled it from basically I was thinking I was going to start this program up again, and I pulled it from October 1st through to, basically it would only let me go to like the 16th of August. And I did this on the 1st. So it was like, I was just trying to verify the information that it pulled so that I could actually figure out whether or not I was at the
Yeah.
right place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, David, if you talk to someone at Mecklenburg County, in other words, you bypass their website and you call and you work your way through and get to the right person, do you think even for a fee, they might pull you that data?
You can always, it's worth a try. I mean,
Mhm.
That's what John has done.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want me to show you John's spreadsheet, what he
No,
got?
not really, not tonight.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is that there has to be a way to get the data. I mean, it's public information. So whether you have to, pay for it is a whole different story. And I don't think anybody minds paying for it. We paid for it back in the day, the list. But but that is something that we should explore. And Beth, if you don't mind, just continue the conversation with David and John Hart. Let's try to narrow this down because that is one of the impediments to it. I know Michael would get back to it in a minute. If he could get a reliable source, and maybe it's just as easy as contacting someone in the office of the county, letting them know exactly what you needed and tell them that you'll be glad to pay for the list if someone would pull it for you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list to do next week too. Just to, I've called the county, but I'm usually getting a secretary, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't do that. I'm gonna go in and actually just talk to someone face to face, see if I can figure out somebody who's got some information for me.
Okay.
I didn't realize what a gold mine Shep was until he was gone.
Shep
Right? I was just,
Mazrick, man, I've known that
dude,
dude
man,
for 100 years.
I'd call Shep and I'd say, hey, I need a list. And he'd be like, I got it. And I would tell him, the counties. And he was like, sure thing. We'd be on the call we'd be on the call for 5 minutes, but it'd only take me about 30 seconds to tell him that I needed a list and what the date range was. And then we'd chat about him playing golf down in Coral Gables or wherever it was,
Yeah.
Cape Coral or wherever. And then I would
Yeah.
get this list and it
Mhm.
was beautiful. And then he was gone, and I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll just have to call somebody else. And oh my goodness, I did not realize what a gold mine he was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
I bought lists from him from different businesses I've owned in the years gone past, and he got old. He actually a lady took over his business for him, and we were able to get it through her. And then finally, they quit providing that information to anyone, and we weren't able to get it anymore. I'm just, Michael, glad to know you could get off the call in 5 minutes, man. I was never that lucky. Took way more than 5 minutes. Shep and I go a long way back, though. We've been old friends for a long, long time. He actually came to one of our workshops up in Jasper. It was great to see him again. He has family that lives in Atlanta. So yeah, he lived in Atlanta for many, many years. So anyway, okay, well, we're gonna continue to delve into that and let's see how we can get it because it's too important to think. Let's think about this in a different way. And I didn't really mean to start with the challenges first, but this is the kind of the giant elephant in the room. How about brand new neighborhoods? So let's say in Venice, there are a lot of very, very large neighborhoods going in, and even around here, in where we are in Lady Lake. And so what happens is, can we get Brandon through the realtor information, MLS or others? I'm thinking out loud. Can we get people that bought homes in that area? I mean, could we pull new home buyers in those locations?
Um,
You should be able
I'll
to.
You wouldn't
ask that
catch.
question again. I'm trying to
Okay.
digest that.
So what I'm really wanting to see if they can happen is the MLS or other information sources can we get people who bought a home, whether it won't say new construction or residential resale, but bought a home in an area in which we know they're new homes. So Lennar is building a big giant
Yeah, yeah.
subdivision. Can we get people who bought homes in that Lennar subdivision?
You could probably do that. We had tried to go, I think there's a way to filter by year built potentially. So obviously you could filter by 2024 or whatever and pull the list that way. I think what we were running into is it wasn't a complete list since all the, not every transaction was going through the MLS. And then I wasn't able to get the homeowner name, I think is what we were also missing there. So I
Okay,
mean,
so
there's still some workarounds.
okay, and let's say that for a minute, because here's what happens. My old client and friend Bill Easter in Seattle, this is what he did. One of his agents granted him MLS access, and what we were trying to pull was a variety of information, top producers by zip code and the whole thing. So anyway, the agent that gave him access had no idea how to do it. So what she got on the phone with MLS, Bill did a nice favor for her, maybe got her a facial at one of the spas or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, a small gift. And what she did was she got on the MLS and she said, I have my unlicensed assistant with me. And here's the information I'm trying to get, but I have no idea how to get it. And the person at MLS was just super helpful and showed them exactly how to do it and, helped them with the documentation so they could do it again and again. So if you have an agent that is, or you have access to the MLS, you can call their support and tell them what you're trying to get at, and they'll help you pull those.
Okay.
Okay. But so here's the thing, and Michael nailed this, and it happened to us too, and everybo's been involved in the program. This is it. So this is what I was thinking about the big neighborhoods with Lennar and all that, these other major builders. It doesn't have to be Lennar, but the fact of the matter is, if we can get into that subdivision and we can start direct mailing those postcards into that subdivision and our message is compelling enough, then people are going to hold on to that card. Okay. Once we do an inspection in there, guess what? We get a bunch more inspections in there because the problems that we're going to find on that particular home, the same ones have the problems because it's the same subs.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys know from your own experience that once we got in there, we continue to get more and more business. And what happens is we can also say is, oh, by the way, for every name that you give me that does a builder's warranty inspection, I'll cut $50 off your inspection. Let's say, well, Ken, here's what happens. You've already come and gone. And I said, well, I'll give you a rebate of $50. So how about 5 names, of people that in the community that the fact of the matter is that will that are having the same problems you've talked to at the cookout or at the meeting or whatever. And people give you that stuff. They love you to come out. I mean, this is one of the things about builder's warranty. I mean, people loved you when you came out. Okay. So you were helping them solve their problem. So if we could get who bought, new construction in a big new construction area, are we gonna get everybody? We're not. But is it a nice revenue supplement then?
Yeah.
Okay. David, that makes sense?
It does. I mean, the key is actually getting into the neighborhood. Once you're in it, selling it is the easy part. I mean,
Yeah, once you're in, you're in. It's like you can't get away. And that
right?
little
Because
sign
I'll
that
give
you
you
put
this
up?
example. Well, just in the last year, this year alone, probably 50 inspections in one neighborhood.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, and that's because the neighbors were talking to each other how bad their homes were built. So,
And you know what happens is, I don't know about where you guys live, but here in Florida, we got all these people moving in and they can't build enough homes fast enough. So if the building inspector had the consumer's back in the past, that's over. Okay, and I am telling you, we had a friend, a lady cut my hair, Kathleen, and I'll tell you that she bought in a Lennar community that was, I mean, townhomes for 450, $500,000, and the thing had every problem in the world. Okay, and so did her neighbors because, like David said, they're talking to each other. Okay, so to get in there, once you get in the neighborhood, that's it. And using direct mail or whatever to get in there, even if we couldn't. Now, if you can't get somebody's first name, just say, dear new home buyer. You
And the other
know,
thing,
just I'm going to tell you, or dear neighbor. You know, I never let those kind of things hold me back. My list is my job is how can I get that list? Okay, it's not perfect, but let's work it because a few $1,000s a month as an additional source of revenue is still a few $1,000s a month. And I will tell you, not every home inspector is struggling. Ours seem to be struggling less, but there's a lot of home inspectors I talk to countrywide that are in a serious world of hurt. Okay, so a few inspections here and there each month would be beneficial to their bottom line. So I think if we could find that out. So Brandon, I'm gonna let you work with Beth and David. If you'll talk with Beth, you guys work back and forth with her. I think that would be the easiest way for you guys. Let's see if we can't come up with a solution on this. Put our heads together, and if we could get the data in the spreadsheet, I'll try to see if we can't get somebody to cut that data in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even mind paying for it to find it, to get somebody to do it. If we can figure it out, once we figure it out, they'll tell us how to do it, and then we can help everybody else in the program try to get it. But it is a great program, and that's the way to do it. So once we get in there, then we can go from there. The other way is possibly to secure a list some other way. And we'd have to think through that. I wasn't really thinking all the way down the path on that tonight. But I will tell you this, I don't know if we've done any keyword research that is anyone searching in your market for 11-month warranty inspections. So if somebody was searching in your market for 11-month warranty inspections, we could see what search is at. So Beth, if you would just write that down and let's give that to the team and let them go to work on searching for 11-month warranty inspections and just use Brandon City or David's or, Charlotte or wherever. Some of the larger markets will give us some idea of search volume. And then also, I'd like for you to look for the trends. What are the trends? Is that search term up? Is that search term down or flat? And that way we can see that.
One of the other things, and David and I talked about this the other day, is if you know a couple of the development names, you could probably go up to the courthouse. Some of those will have addresses now. Some of the lots, like here in our development, some of the lots just have a lot number, but a lot of them will have addresses, and you could get a list of those addresses, but you may not know actually when they sold. But that's something to think about too.
So let's say this, because here's what happens is with your direct mail, what really happens too is you can say if your 11-month builder's warranty is already expired, please pass this card on to your neighbor. Okay, so we can go that direction with it.
Or they may want to have their home inspected. Maybe it's past the warranty, but they got a lot of stuff wrong with it, and they might want to have an inspection done.
But if you want to know the new home developments in your community, all you could do is go to Google and type in new home and your city, new home, new homes or buy new home and your city, and good Lord, everything in the world will come up. So there'd be no shortage of finding out what developments were available in there, and then you could learn all about them. So that's it. But I think we all agree once you get into the neighborhood, that's an easy part. So I think that getting that list, however we get that list, is going to be a perfect thing. So let's think about this, the internet. Okay, so how about has anybody leveraged the internet to get leads for that product? Anybody even run any campaigns on it?
I do. I mean,
Okay, and David, do you get some from that?
we do. I mean,
Okay.
what I've noticed is that the longer my 1-year builder warranty page is up, because it's been going on what, 5 years now?
I was
Something
going
like
to say
that.
4 or 5 years.
Right. So the longer it's up there, the more traction it gets. I think you can type in 11th month builder warranty, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm on the first page. So, or at least I used to be, and
Mhm.
I got a lot of calls from that. So it is valuable, just as well as marketing to pre-drywall inspections. And you know, that is, I give you a case example. And I try to push this is when we're doing the sales call for the pre-drywall, we're not only doing the pre-drywall, we're doing the final inspection. And then when they do the final inspection, the inspector pushes a 1-year builder warranty. The importance of it, because things can change over the time of the house. So not only do we get that one inspection, but we got a total of 3 on the same house.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we discount them, but we don't discount them a lot. And the way it is easy money because you've already been there, you've already seen the property. You can literally take the same report, take the photos out of it, and all you're doing is taking new photos, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, it's the easiest inspection you can do, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in all fairness, Home Inspector Help, our sister company, has a builder's warranty program with we help you set up your page and do all that stuff. You can talk to Beth outside this. We'll send you a link in an email after it's over if you're interested.
I have a
wanna
quick
go-
question
Okay.
before you go on, real quick. So for those of you who do new construction inspections, do you market your new construction inspection client in 10 months?
So you're doing 11-month warranty for them.
Yes, we do.
Yay,
Okay.
Yes, we do.
good.
Okay,
That, I
good,
mean, believe me, I've talked to inspectors before that said they didn't. So just wonder.
I
Okay.
pull the data manually every month, and then figure out, hey, when am I going to send it to them again? And then I email them in my email. It's generally only, I would like for it to be 20 homes a month, but it's generally only 5 or 10, so it's not that much time.